Welcome back to Terrace Treasures. I've got another tumbling video for you. Rock tumbling takes a while. So normally rock tumbling probably takes between 4 to 8 weeks. And so we're going to do the whole thing in a couple of minutes. You can see my setup here. So I have a collapsible silicone colander on top of a 5-gallon bucket and lots of water so I can clean off the rocks really well, get all the grit off of them, and prep for the next stage. And then I've kind of repositioned so that I can start to go through and separate out the stuff that either is not worth tumbling any farther or that is ready to go into the next stage versus the stuff that needs to go back in. And that's what you see in the foreground. There is rocks that are going back into the tumbler barrel so they can either go on to the next stage or spend more time. And the white stuff that I just put in there was borax. So I'm just cleaning the rocks. And then this is the second tumbler, dual tumbler. So I run 2 barrels at once. And again, you're seeing me separate out what is ready to move on versus what needs to be tumbled longer. This is the next stage. So some of these rocks would have been changing from, stage 1 to stage 2, stage 2 to stage 3. This looks like stage 3. That's the pre-polish. So the first 2 stages of rock tumbling are kind of knocking the rough edges off, knocking off matrix, that kind of thing. And then you have pre-polish, and then the 4th and final stage is polish. Again, more separating. You can tell that I'm separating out rocks, and I've given myself a little note here to say, okay, these are ready for stage 2. Sometimes you have to go through a bunch of stage 1 and collect enough so that you're ready for stage 2. And I've moved inside because it's cold. My sweet dog is there she is. She's gonna make a little appearance. She was helping. Again, remember, you're seeing weeks worth of work here, all fairly quickly. I just love that chalcedony chunk in the front there. Look at that glow. Oh, so good. Lots of chalcedony. That's all the kind of blue and see-through, transparent. That's all chalcedony from various places. Usually a lot from the same place, actually. And I was trying to show you what we had there. I think this might be getting close to the end. So this is probably like stage 3 to 4, or possibly stage 4, meaning this is it. This is the final time they're going to come out of the polish. So it looks like I'm kind of checking that as I'm going, checking the polish. Oh, showing off some of the rocks. Hard to do in a time lapse. And when you're doing tumbling, you want to be really careful that you are cleaning everything really well, especially if you're going from one stage to the next. This is one of my tumbled rocks with lots of good little dots in there. I forget what I'm doing here, but I think what I did is I took the rocks with me to separate them out up at the cabin. I know I'm at the cabin. I know that much. And I think I'm separating out what needs more versus what's going to be leverites, just put in the rock garden, versus what needs to go into the next tumbling phase or needs more time in whatever phase we're in for this one. Also, I've mentioned this before, but I tumble a little differently than some other people. So I obviously include a lot of really small rocks. A lot of people don't bother with rocks that are that tiny. And I might be getting to the point where I'm going to stop spending so much time on little tiny bits and pieces. But they are kind of fun sometimes. Sometimes they surprise you because like the tiniest little specimen will have just a really fabulous look to it, or a fun, unique feature or something like that. But it is, as you can see, quite tedious. So it takes a while to get through all the stuff. I think this took me about 12 minutes to go through, you know, every single rock that you're seeing here. And that's, you know, there's probably a couple hundred rocks there that you have to kind of separate out and look at each stage and each step of the process and decide what you're going to do with it. I think I might have to speed this up for the final video. This one takes a while. And I know it's a little out of focus as well. I'll show you a picture at the end of why this one, it actually accidentally got recorded as a slow-mo, and it was supposed to be a time lapse. And you'll see I had limited equipment with me. You'll see the picture right after this of the way that I had the camera set up. So it was less than ideal. Let's just put it that way. And you know, a lot of this recording is from when I didn't really know what I was doing. And so I think I'm trying to do better now about setting up my shots so they're not so painful to look at. And this one is quite grainy because I had to zoom in a lot, essentially, to cut out noise and clutter. But again, you're just seeing the process of kind of separating things out into whether or not we want to keep tumbling them, put them in the rock garden, that type of thing. So here is the final set of tumbled rocks. In the lower left-hand corner there, I really love this rock. It's got a really neat blue and green kind of motif. And it reminds me of when you see a picture of the Earth from space. So that kind of blue and green mixed together, I really like that one. Upper left, of course, lots of chalcedony, agates, that kind of thing. You know I love me some chalcedony. And then scooting over to the right here a little bit, we see some of those chunks of smoky chalcedony, which I also really love. I really like this one. It's quartz crystals plus smoky chalcedony, and it just has such an interesting form. It's got kind of swoopies. It looks a little like mountains, kind of a nifty one. And then lots of little treasures, of course. I love some of the glow that you're getting to see on the chalcedony chunks. So I'll try to kind of point out what I mean there. You can see some good banding here. Nice little chunk of jasper on the corner here. And I think that's it. I need to mute it. Yeah, I gotta fix it because it doesn't all fit. I messed up. All right, let's try again. Actually, this is all messed up. And we'll come back to that. Trying to see if there's anything else I wanted to point out. I think that's about it. I treasure rock tumbling almost as much as I treasure you. If you want to be a gem, hit like on this video, tell me in the comments what's your favorite rock in the video, and consider subscribing if you haven't already.